Hello, hello, hello. I'm Mila, and welcome to the Love Fest. We are doing business with love. We're continuing it on. We're keeping the revolution of love going. I'm your hostess with the mostest, and today we are talking to Nicole Eisler. She is a self-empowerment coach for sensitives. You may be one of those. She helps empathic peeps really take control of their emotions and lead their best life. And this is so, so important. So keep staying with us because this is going to be fun. And she is the creator of a community, the Sensitive Rising, where she has created this movement for sensitives to rise up and feel good and live their best life. It's like amazing in that group. So thank you so much, Nicole, for joining me today. I am just like so thrilled to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. Got all teary-eyed. See, that's to feel all the energy. It's like this big rush. It was so great. I'm like, yay! I get to spend time with you, and you know what a positive message that you're sharing with everyone. So I'm excited. Let's see where we get to go today.
Oh yes, it's so exciting. As I told you before we started, this has been on my mind for a long time. So seeing it come to life is really, really special for me. And thank you again for being part of this. So my first question for you, as it is with most people, is how do you infuse love into your business?
Oh, I never forget where I came from, if that makes any sense, right? So the reason that I'm doing what I do is because I've been there. So I want to share with others. I mean, okay, as a sensitive, it's easy for me to tune into what other people are feeling. And so I get what they're feeling, and to never forget how sometimes how hard and how awful it was, but also how liberating it can be. Right.
Yeah.
So the rush that I get every single day, like if I just did a live stream earlier and a woman said, where do you get all your energy? I said, from you guys, because the community is continuing to grow. And I feel like right now is the greatest time to have a business. We have more opportunity than ever. It should be the healthiest time to be on the planet because we have more services and right. So every entrepreneur, you're all listening. And yet people are really struggling and they're feeling really challenged, and they're, maybe they're unsure in their steps. And what do I do next? Where do I go from here? Why do I feel this way? I see to me, it's become so simple in my mind as to how to live happier and healthier. And yet anxiety disorders and depression, it continues to rise. And I just know it doesn't have to be that way.
Popping more pills than ever and
Yes.
prescription drugs, and it drives me crazy. And
I have goosebumps.
Yeah, me too. I just got goosebumps with that too. It drives
me crazy.
It's like an epidemic.
It is
really going crazy. I'm with you 111% with this. Let's go backtrack just a second and let's define what a sensitive person is.
Sure. So just the word right now, if you just heard sensitive, your ears perked up. What? Sensitive, right? So sensitive, usually you've been told you're too sensitive, or you ask, why do you take everything so personal? Why are you so emotional all the time? I always joke, if I had $1 for every time I was told that, I'd buy my island and you're all coming for the retreat. But it's other things though too, right? You really notice things in your environment, even subtle things, temperature differences, the lighting, noises. You're very attuned to that, but also you have what we call emotional X-ray vision. So you can literally, it's like you're in someone else's shoes. And so you can feel, right? So empaths are more apt to feel what others feel. They're very sensitive to the energy around them through emotional waves. And so any of those things, probably some of you are going, all of the above. I have all of the above. So welcome to the Cool Club. That's the way we look at it.
I've been told, I don't know how many times, why are you so sensitive? And right? Or whatever. The other terminology for sensitive is really empathic, or you feel compassion for the world is really what it is, right?
You have this deep connection to the world around you and wanting things. I also find though on the high side, on the positive side, it's like, this is the perspective that I've gained, right? And the one that I share in my community is that you You have ideas that can literally change the world. You feel a connection to
Yes.
those that are suffering or in need, which is why sensitives tend to make wonderful, amazing, awesome entrepreneurs, because they want to make a positive difference. And that's what really happens. The transformation is, okay, first I work with my energy, I learn more about that. Oh, wow, I can control it. Oh, what can I do to make a difference in the world? I could actually use my gifts. And that starts to surface more. The more that a sensitive becomes empowered, they go, oh my God, I could actually help other people.
And
in a
not
different
only that, right? But you cannot not do it. Like, you
Right,
have
exactly.
to. It's
You get to that point, it's just
you have to go forward. You
correct.
must. And it's because your purpose or your mission, whatever you want to call it, soul's purpose, life mission, I don't care what you call it, why you're here on earth is to make that impact and to be of service to people. And I know that there's every person I
Again, goosebumps.
every person I
got goosebumps
interview
again.
is on this path, and that's why they're
Mm-hmm.
on this panel. That's why they are on the speakers. We're all here to make this difference. And I know there's people out there that are watching, and they know that they're meant for bigger.
Yes.
And they know that they're meant for greatness, and they know that they're meant to make a worldwide impact. And we're just regular people.
Mm-hmm.
And
but at some level, that feeling of, I feel like there's something else. I feel like there's something more I'm supposed to be doing. I feel like it doesn't matter, by the way, if you don't know what that is.
No,
because it
doesn't.
always comes forward once you start doing this work, right? And by the end of the summit, you're going to have all these ideas, and you're going to have things come to the surface that, oh my God, it's like they're talking to me, right? Or you hear one of the people that you've been interviewing, and maybe it's here today, but you go, oh my God, it's like they're in my head. Or this is what I've always thought about. Or this is something that I always wondered if it was I the only one. You're going to discover you're not. And so
no, you're not. There's so many more people like you, like us, and and all I can say is take action.
Yes. Yes. Just say yes. Sure. Yes. Just show up, you know? So
hey, Nicole, would you like to be on my summit? Yes.
Yes. I was on vacation. Yes, I would. I go, oh my God, so exciting, right?
Yes.
So here we are. Less than a week.
Okay, so let's go into a little bit about why and how did you start your business?
I think my business started me. it was, going through experiences in my life that were a struggle or a challenge, feeling like I was more challenged because I was a sensitive. Really always left a big question mark in my head. Why am I like that? What, right? And seeing all different people in different walks of life, but that intrigued me. How did they get there? How did they do that? Wow, they're making a difference. When I was 19, I saw, everybody will know this name, a gentleman by the name of Tony Robbins, and thought, oh, I want to do what he does. So the process, though, of my life, right, took me on different paths and courses to learn certain things. And at one point, I had a download, and it said, the reason that you go through these rough times, these really hard times, is so that you can help others from a place of true understanding. Right? So not just saying, well, it'll get better, because I'd not been, it was, nope, you're going to. And so finally, though, I realized, okay, I've had enough experience. I don't need to hit rock bottom every time to totally understand. But that's what happened. The business part kept calling me back because my business is my purpose, right? So this is my life's work. I've gone through a lot of different jobs and experiences, but this is my life's work. So this was the one that kept coming back, even when I turned away, even when I quit, even when, right? And so I pulled it back until I finally found the sweet spot. And and it was learning things that helped me live my life the way I wanted to live, not based on what my energy was for the day.
Yeah.
Right? So it wasn't, well, I guess I have a bad day today because my energy's off. Or, oh boy, this week's going to be toast because I really feel off. Right? So it wasn't like that anymore. It was, oh, here's what I want to do. So, well, I need to activate that energy. And so so through learning and studying and working with spiritual teachers and really just developing things on my own. Wow, this worked. I have to tell people about it, right? I have to teach this. Oh, this is or you get the download of something that wasn't clear before, and all of a sudden you get this oh,
Yeah.
thing, and you go, that makes so much sense. And you share it and they go, thank you.
yes.
I never could make sense of that before.
Yeah.
Right. So those became kind of my foundational things that,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was
It's
just,
funny.
I just said yes.
Yeah.
Stop saying
I
no.
just
I
said
said
yes.
yes.
Yeah. I want to bring up a couple of things that you said there that really resonated with me. Is one of the things is I just kept on asking questions and going forward, right? And that's about getting curious, right?
Yes.
Curious about your life and ask yourself those questions, like, because that's what Mr. Tony Robbins says all the time, is the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. And I totally
So
drink it.
true.
Kool-Aid.
That stuck with me the first time I ever heard it. Exactly.
I went to his live event, and I actually ran into a friend of mine, and he recorded me after the thing was over. I said to Darren, I said, Darren, I really want to be up on stage after, like, I want to be speaking to the 6,000 people or whatever, right? And he goes, well, get up on stage, I'll record you. So he actually recorded me walking on the stage that Tony Robbins just exited. And I swear to you, I stepped into Tony Robbins' energy, and I still
that's what I could see.
Still have it, right? Like I'm a quarter of the size of him, but that's okay. I totally got his big energy, right? So I was all like, yes.
That's so awesome.
The other thing that I wanted to say here is the indicators, the indicating factors, right? Because you said it kept coming back. It kept coming back. Just like this interview series, the summit. I had the domain name for like 2 years or something, and I kept coming back to it. I kept coming back to it, and now I'm doing it. So what are those things that keep coming back, right? Because those are the things that you need to follow through on. That's your intuition talking to you, right?
It absolutely was. And some of the calling you back is things not working out, things falling through, the sure bet. This is the one, right? This is the job. Nope, it's not. Oh my God, it fell through. Why did that fall through? I didn't, you have to really believe that when things don't always work out, oh, there's a reason, right? There's a bigger, better reason, and you're being prepared. It's also how you handle and step forward. I had, there were all different kinds of experiences, things like I thought that job was the one and then not. Things like a friend calling me and saying, I need to hire a coach, and I couldn't think of anyone else, and I wasn't even coaching at the time. He said, no, it has to be you. And then after our first session, I hung up and thought, what am I doing? I am not coaching. What is the matter with me? Like, this is my rush, right? So it was just saying yes. I mean, was I going to turn him down?
Here's the thing. Right? Yeah, no. Like when you step into that role, right? When you step in and you say yes and you lean into life, it starts getting amazing, right?
Yeah.
This also goes into the next question, which is, how has following your intuition in business helped or hindered you?
So my intuition has always been there, so much so I just wrote a book on it. But here's when it didn't help me, is when I didn't listen.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's a few reasons that, I ignored it, or I was too busy. I was just too distracted, but really looking at it, and now it is one of the number one tools, and my biggest asset in my business is, how does that feel for me? And there is no intuitive maybe, you understand? So there's only a yes or a no, and how that shows up for you. And it's so much a part of my business that I teach my clients, not just about intuition, but their own intuition based on their real life experiences. I have hired the wrong coaches. I have invested in the wrong fill in the blank, right? Because I wasn't listening to my intuition. So I don't see it as a waste, of course. Now I look at it and go, well, that was one of my biggest clarifiers, right? That this would have been better had you listened to yourself, or this might have been a little bit more. And even,
I've done that before too. I've signed up to programs and coaching services that were expensive too. Like, expensive. And how do I say it? I didn't get the results I wanted, but that person wasn't on the same level, right?
Exactly.
Like, And it's not that I'm a screw up, and it's not that they were wrong in what it is. It wasn't a vibrational match, even though I
Correct.
really, 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 really wanted it to be. And, you know, they make lots of money. They're doing
Yep.
really great. I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
be that person too. But I also want to be that person that leads with love, right?
Right. Right. And
So you
I've
got to
had
find that person that meshes with you and for
completely.
what you need at this time, right?
Right. It's that don't do what you think you should do, really do what feels right for you. And, you know, I had the exact same examples, and it, are they expensive lessons? I guess, but you know, you don't get as much out of it. And I always say that too. It's not good or bad. They're just different. And
Mm-hmm.
they're great at what they do, but not for me. I tease like on Sesame Street, not a match. It's that
Yeah.
simple, right? Match, not a match. It's
That's
that's it.
that's so simple to
It's so
understand,
simple.
right?
Instead of we make it
Everyone remembers that on
complicated,
Sesame
maybe
Street.
and why do you know, you don't have to internalize. It's like not a blame game that, well, I didn't get the results of that program. Maybe I didn't show up. Maybe it's just not a match, right?
Yeah.
And so I always say, just don't worry about the why. Just move along to something else. Just start
Yeah.
again. Just,
I actually learned a lot of stuff out of those programs and coaching that I did invest in. And I find that, what's funny is that you may not need what they were teaching at that time, but a couple years later,
right.
it may be just perfect, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not a loss. Listen to the lessons, and there's always a core message underneath there anyways, right? So
Always. Yes. I
I
always
want
say
to talk.
nothing's wasted.
Yeah, nothing is wasted, nothing's either good or bad, and
Mm-mm.
you know what, money can flow to you at any time, so it doesn't
Exactly.
matter, right? So
Totally.
spent money and whatever, you can just, it just makes room for more to come in.
It does. And spending time resenting your decision
Yeah,
eats away at your energy.
it
Doesn't bring in the
does.
money, I'll tell you.
No, it
So,
does not.
yeah. So,
So I wanted to talk a little bit about how you transitioned from working, and then you worked a little bit part-time, I believe, and then you transitioned into um, leaving the whole corporate and doing this full-time on your own, because I know that there's a few viewers at least that are having a 9 to 5 that maybe they're not 100% in love with, or
right.
you
Not
know
fulfilling, not, yeah.
fulfilling. And how does that work? How does
Yeah.
that work for you?
And I'm fresh out of the gates. I'm retired from the corporate gig. This is my first month even on my own. The beauty of it was, so for a few years, I worked a full-time job building the business part-time, right? So you build
Hmm.
your business on the side. Through that, what I realized was never treat your business like it's part-time. Okay. You
No.
are we're our business. It's all
Hmm.
energy, right? So I also had to make a switch from feeling trapped. Oh, I'm at this job and I want to be in my business. So this creates separation from what you want. When I flip the switch to, wait a minute, this is not my forever. This is just my for right now. And I
Hmm.
treated my job as my investor. So my job was investing, because you tend to think you get paid by your job. Well, that's true, but it's an energy exchange. So that was my investor. And I really looked at my
I like that.
business.
I
Yeah, it
like
was
that
like all
analogy.
the time. And when I showed up different to my job, my business started to grow. When I showed up at my job resenting I had to work my job, my business did not grow. See, you
Right.
can't separate that energy, right? And so I showed up and I thought, yeah, this is just for right now. This is just my investor. And I really started to focus on where I was going, not where I was at. Right.
Mm.
So every day I go to work, but I was like, I can't wait to turn in my resignation. This is going to be so great. And my drive to work was mega, mega important because I had a ramp, right? That's right energy mindset. And here's the cool thing. Now, granted, the employer was really awesome about it, but because of the way I was showing up, I asked them if it was an option. Look, create your own opportunities. Okay.
Mm.
The position I was in was a full-time position. They did not offer it as a part-time. I went into my supervisor and I said, we talked about signs before. I had all the signs. Tons of signs were coming in. The goosebumps on the way to work. I'd be crying. I'm getting messages from my grandparents like, this is the time. It's time to move, right? So I go in and I just asked if they would consider having me work part-time. And they knew that I was building this business and how important it was to me, right? And this is my life's work. And what they asked was, this was June. So they asked, well, could you actually stay full-time and through the end of the year? And I was like, oh, because at that point my business had grown. It was full-time.
Yeah.
And she said, ooh, okay, I can see the look on your face. So what we did was we compromised. I stayed in the job full-time through the end of the year, but I worked remote. So I didn't have that commute time, which shaved off some time in my day to allow me to work with clients earlier and do other things. And as I left, they said, we don't want to lose you. Would you help us with, maybe miscellaneous projects but the real game changer was my focus and my mindset and my energy, right? Instead of showing up like a prisoner in this job, sorry, but I was I'll just call myself out. I was a pouty little, like, I don't want to be here. I want to be there.
I've been there before.
Yeah. And nobody puts baby in the corner, just get over it. Right. So I started to show up, because what I was really doing is ruining my experience.
Well, yeah.
That's my life every day. Right.
You know what I got to say to this as well is that, I used to waitress. That's what I used to do. Right. Before I started my first home staging business, but I had this one job and I hated it. Like, I'm going to tell you, I hated it. And I was there for like 2 years and it was like, and it was a Tuesday, which was my Monday. And I was like, I was walking into the place and I was like, this feels like jail, right? I feel like I was going to jail. And I was like, please, God, if there's any way you can get me out of working tonight, I would really love to appreciate it. I would love it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I went in, they go, Mila, can I talk to you? And I was like, sure. They fired me and gave me a check for like $3,000. I was the happiest person to get. I was like, I think they thought I was going to freak out. I didn't freak out. I was like, yippee! God answered my prayers. I'm out here. Right?
Answers come in all shapes and sizes, not just one.
Be aware that if you bring that negativity and that thing and that yearning, that like your answers will be prayer. Maybe you might not get a $3,000 severance check either.
Right.
But like, something will happen to make that job go away. Or as I say to my clients, I say, bring your sparkle with you.
Yeah. That was what they said. Right? It was the way that you show up because of who you are, that we want to work with you and make this work. And, and also I wasn't shy about sharing my dream. This is my life's work. And she said, anytime, this was our director of operations, she said, anytime I can be part of helping someone make their dreams come true, I want to be in on that. Like, you'd be surprised how much people are craving inspiration and so go for it.
And fast forward a few years later, I was at a different location, different pub, and I had gotten back from the Yukon and I needed a bridge job before I was already started my home staging business, but I was doing that part-time just to keep income going. And the gentleman that owned the place, I told him I'm starting this business. I don't know what I'm doing and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you know what, Mila, I started my business with just a hope and a dream that I could like support my family. And now he's a multimillionaire and he owns multiple properties and investments. They started with like a old folks home.
Yeah.
And they did that. And then they moved into the pub and beer and wine store and blah, blah, blah. And like they have a whole conglomerate of things that they do. And he was like well into his 80s at the time. He's still like, I still talk to him, like, cause I quit a long time ago now. That was 8 years ago now, but I still talk to Henry, and he's like, I'm so proud of you for doing what you did. He goes, you left, you've grown, you've changed your business, and I'm so proud of you. So not all employers want you to stay stuck in a position either, right? And if you're maybe one of those positions and you still need a job, you might want to look for a place that you can bring your sparkle and have those skills that actually that you can utilize in your business.
Yes, and they exist.
They exist, right?
That employer I manifested on paper before I found them. So
nice.
it was the whole dark time, right? And so you can, just allow yourself to think it's possible, right? Allow yourself, don't just think about what you want because you think you can get it. Go beyond that and really, dream big. So maybe it come out a little bit. I think I was off on salary and whatever by a few dollars, but it was the way I wanted to be treated, the people I want to work with. And the owner, he said, I knew that, it wasn't fulfilling for you, but you did a great job. You showed up with a great attitude. The clients love. And so that's the thing, because you have to be in alignment with your energy wherever you are in your life.
Yeah.
Right. If you have a relationship that's taking away from your energy, if you have a friendship that's taking away from, if you're worried and consumed about money, who hasn't been there? If there's a job you're at, right, where you feel, I hear this phrase, it drives me crazy, soul sucking job. I hear that so much. I'm not saying they don't exist, but my soul is my soul. You don't get to touch my soul.
Nobody makes me feel anything.
And that was really what I realized. Like, I'm showing up miserable every day because I'm resenting the man, them, I don't know, whoever. But that's me. I'm having the crappy experience every day. Like, I want to have fun. So we
create our own experiences.
Yes. My office became the Zen office. I had my oils. People come in. We talk about positive things. Whatever it takes.
That's the way to work it when you're at that job, your for right now job. I have to mention the unicorn behind you. It's been blowing up. It's just like, I'm here. I'm living the unicorn glitter lifestyle. Yeah.
So I saw this post. This woman said, just wondering, does anybody, I like fairies and unicorns, and does anybody know how to incorporate that? Or do you incorporate that or share that with your clients or people? Or do you keep that to yourself? I was like, oh no, she's out in the open all the time. She blinks. She's got a party unicorn. The fairies have been sighted on videos, and I am a fairy fanatic, unicorn fanatic. So I want to have fun. This is, do your business your way. Do it with love. What do you love? Put that in your business,
Yeah, whatever it is. Like whatever it is, just own it and be yourself, because the more you are, the more you're going to attract the people that like you for you.
Oh, and I can't tell you how many times. So you're doing that and you don't seem like you even like it. So why would anybody else show up if you're not having fun in your life or in your business? Like, I've had clients, we work on dating. There's all different areas that come up because it's all about energy. And I'm like, you don't even sound like you like being with you, but you want to attract your perfect mate. Like, be yourself, be fun, have fun, right?
The poor thing.
Fun in your business, or it just becomes another job. Seriously, that's not fun.
No,
there's work to be done, but I never feel that way. It's just, there's that bigger mission you talked about, right?
Yes.
That's, so whatever needs to be done, I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Yes.
Unicorns or whatever.
All those like the tougher things, like the techie bits maybe that you don't really quite understand, or whatever it is that you don't understand. It makes getting through that stuff easier. And also when you get to a certain point, you can delegate that stuff away. So you're not going to have to do that for the rest of your life, right?
And I'm a little bit of a balloon buster sometimes, because I go, guess what? If there's something you really, really want, it's probably going to involve you doing things you don't want to do.
Oh, you got to get outside.
You got to find, you can make them fun. You see, you win, right? Yeah. So I make everything at my job a puzzle. All right, how fast can I do this? What can I do? How do I show it up? How to make it a game?
That's actually a really, really good point, because here's the thing. When we're first starting out, we're a little bit maybe clumsy and slow,
right?
And that sort of thing. And what I kind of preach is like, just try to get better by 1% each day, whether it be in your
365% a year.
Yeah,
right?
I know. That's like even if I shave off on my run a couple of seconds, that's still my best time ever, my personal record by 2 seconds. Like, I mean, I'm still proud of that. I do that every week, by the way. Every week I get a personal best fastest run. If I'm doing something for my business and it's the first time, and still to this day, 8 years in, I'm doing new stuff all the time, right? Like it doesn't end, right? It doesn't end doing the new stuff. I just try to do it one time, and then I try to be a little more efficient the next time, and then more efficient the next time, and see how fast I can do it. I put on timers. I go, what am I going to do? Blah, blah, blah. So that's a really big point. Ooh, I forgot. I almost.
Sorry, go ahead. I had another point off of that. But
TV.
Yes, we'll talk about that. But just to make sure, too, you pause throughout your business and really reflect on, wow, look at how much. I had a thought the other day. We were talking about, your sales page and whatever, and how much, oh yeah, my mind just went to, you got to do this, 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 this. And in the beginning it was, I don't know what to do next. What do I do? Where do I go with this?
Yeah.
So make sure you're giving yourself, I would say, give credit where credit is due. You have to pause throughout and really give yourself credit for how far you've come and how much you know that you didn't used to know, because there's always more to learn. I get that. But look at how far you've come.
Well, I always say to my clients in particular, and just everybody on my YouTube channel, is like, one of the things that I work on with goals is that you always have to reward yourself, evaluate and reward, right? So everyone's heard of the SMART goals, but it's smarter goals. You evaluate and you reward yourself. Because I put it this way, and this is what I heard from my mentor, and my mentor said it this way. And have you ever tried to train a dog by beating it up? No, it doesn't work. It works with treats. You want to reward your dog sits for the first time. You give it a treat. You pat it. You hug it. You love it. You celebrate it. Or even if you're trying to potty train your kids, you celebrate that they go the first time. And you don't do but we berate ourselves all the time.
Entrepreneurs are like, oh, that took me so long, or
whatever. Hey, man, it doesn't matter. Like in endurance running, they say there's no too slow of a run.
Oh, nice. See, it's just all progress.
It's all progress.
I look at it as all progress. Like, you did it.
Yeah. And a lot of the times, because I'm training for that half marathon that I've got on my brain, but I actually have to slow myself down in order to keep the longer minute duration of running, right? Mm-hmm. And you want to go fast, but it's actually a lesson in business. The slower you go to start off with, it's actually the longer you last. So I want you to be in it for the marathon, not the sprint.
Sure.
That's what I really want, right?
Yes.
I say that a lot, actually. You're in it for the marathon, not the sprint, because everyone wants a business that lasts forever, right?
Right. What's the point otherwise? I'm not looking for a flash in the pan.
Yeah, no. Oh, I really, really want to talk about your TV appearances, because our Mindy, the fairy godmother, picked you up in a big bad way. And I know this is amazing to me, because number one, I've seen you from the beginning. I've known you. I've watched you grow. And the other part is that, you know what, the world is open to listening about sensitives and how to retain our energy and stuff. So how did that all come about? And now you've been on TV, 3 times or something? It was amazing. I think it's amazing.
4, 6, I think we're at 7. I go on next week again, and then another week. So I have 2 more this month.
How exciting.
Yeah, we proposed for a monthly.
I'm so happy for you.
I know. It's very, for me, it's just a lot of fun. And the fun part, yes, it's being there and having the experience, but it's also when someone reaches out after and says, which happened, I did not even know that there were other people like me. I did not even know that someone does what you do. It was so good to hear, right, what you said, or, what you said about the weather that really changed my mindset, that I don't have to have the blues in the winter, right? So, yeah, we cannot even say enough about Mindy. She's not just my publicist. She feels like, and that's the way she really works with you, she's a part of your team. And so her mind just, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Who do you want me to connect you with? And honestly, I drew a little bit of a blank. I said, I was on TV long ago. I loved it. That's it. We're getting you on TV. And within the week, I think she sent
makes your wish happen.
She just poof, bippity boppity boop. There it was. So the first time, it was like, really? Oh, wow. And then now it's become a, sort of a regular thing. One of the stations though, has been very, not that the other one wasn't open to it, but they just asked, could you be more general for everyone watching? And the other one said, yeah, definitely, because the producer, turns out, is a sensitive. She said, I read your press release and I started to cry.
And isn't that
I was like, yay!
Isn't that crazy how the world is awakening? And this is why it's so important for all of us sensitives, all of us compassionate people, all of us heart-centered people to be doing business the way we want to do it, and by living our lives. Like, I mean, we're improving the whole world. It's the ripple effect, and everybody's waking up, and
everyone is waking up.
The world needs you, so don't hesitate, don't wait.
And if I am an example of, if you knew me 20 years before, 10 years before, I didn't talk about my sensitivity. I didn't, because I didn't want to. I was ashamed of it. I felt I was made to feel bad about it, whether anybody meant it on purpose or not. I did, right? I was very confused. And so now to be in a place where I don't honestly even think about it anymore. It's just who I am, right? So it's just, I just show up like that. And, and sensitives, you listen to me now. You do not have to protect yourself, or it's expansion. It's being more of who you're meant to be that actually helps you live more freedom. Okay.
Wow.
It's actually
that's like the reverse of what everybody else says, right? Everyone's like, ground and protect yourself and do
that's
your
a lot of
and
that's focusing out there. First of all, I say to you, okay, we got to make sure you're protected. Do you feel safe?
No.
You're like, for what? What's going to come and get me? I got to protect myself. I mean, if I'm playing basketball, I'm on defense. That's what I do, right? But this isn't this is real life. And so I really, to practice expansion, no, I own my space. Too many sensitive have been pushed out of their space. So to be able to go on TV and talk about it very matter of fact, like, yeah, this is a real thing. And yes, there's science, and yes, we're real people. And, and yes, we do really amazing things, and we have brilliant ideas. And we're, in fact, I joke, we're idea factories. And, if you're one that feels like, oh my God, that's me, yes, we have systems and processes because you want progress on your ideas. But anyway, it's just, for me, it's not anymore so surprising to me that I get to go on TV and talk about this, because that's who I am. So I'm going to go everywhere and talk about this. You want to have me on your show? Great. But otherwise I'm going to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right. No more standing down. This is about visibility. And like you said earlier, you can't not do it. I don't know how to not show up as who I am.
Yeah.
It's locked in. I'm locked and loaded.
Thank you for doing it. So now I'm going to ask you to give us a couple of tips on maybe expanding our energy, as you were saying. Because I am well aware about protection and stuff like that. And I do shielding. I'm going to tell you, when I go to networking events and I go to large crowds, I brought it up in a different video somewhere. I do make sure that I am well rested, well hydrated, and stuff like that. But I'm really curious about this expansion of the energy, because this really hits a chord with me.
Yeah. So for me, practicing expansion, you just touched on some. So you have to make sure you're caring for your own energy first, right? So that means, taking care of listening to your body. It'll never lie to you. And when you're just like your computer, right? If your computer gets wore down, too many programs are firing, it runs sluggish, we're the same. But for practicing expansion, for me, it's living inside out. I set the tone for my day. So if I'm going to a networking meeting, very aware, all these energies and personalities are in there, but I go in firing from inside out. So I set my intention for the meeting. I'm fully aware of my energy. I activate the energy I want to have for the meeting. And then showing up and being an observer, right? So that keeps you're observing everyone. So you can tell, I tell you, the number one thing to study is your own energy. How you feel in your body, what feels your inner world, right? And so that way you can tell, that's not my stuff, that's theirs, right? And just really observing and noticing, being present in your body helps you expand your energy. So when I go to a networking event, I don't want to have to do all the work. I don't want to have to go meet everyone. So I show up with big energy. my expectation is they should want to know what I do because I help people, and they might know someone that I can help. And if I have to go around to every single person and do that, where when you show up with the right intention and your energy is more brilliant, if you will, right? You're
when you're
charged.
shining, when you're shining.
They want to know who you are. Hey,
Yeah.
hi, I saw you over there. What's your name? It happens every time. Now, I don't want that to sound
well, the same
Brady
thing
pants,
happens, like,
right?
the same thing happens if you're, let's say, in a pub, right? You're having a good time, you're smiling, you're laughing with you're with some friends and blah, blah, blah. And people come up to you, you guys are having a great time. What are you celebrating or whatever, right?
Right.
And then you look over at some dark corner and people are mopey. No one's gonna go over
Nobody's
to that,
attracted
right?
to that,
Nobody's
right? So you become the magnet,
yeah,
and you are more attractive and more
yes,
you shine. You know, that
for
instead
sure.
of feeling like, ugh, there's so many people here, and and you go in like that, you're going to be you're focused out there. Oh, she's really loud. Oh, he's, you know, and so you're trying to manage your energy based on what's going on around you.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, own your energy. And I do some visualizing, right? So my energy for me, like even doing a physical, you can do power stance before you go in, but I also love to stretch. So if I'm in the car, I'm blasting my favorite songs and I'm singing, I'm moving, I'm dancing because I'm getting my energy activated.
Well,
when I go in, I'm like, let's do this, you know?
Music raises your vibration and your energy level and your state, right? At any time of day. Like you can put on any good song and you can like, woo!
I always joke that if you're driving next to me, you're probably laughing.
Yeah, well, me too. Like, yeah. Like, I know, me too. I want to just reiterate that point that you go in with the intention, right? And I just want to even expand on that just a little bit further because I've done quite a few networking events in my life and seminars and stuff like that because I'm always wanting to learn and have more growth. So I go to these things and I set an intention every time I go, even for like those weekend events, I set an intention for every day. And one of those things is, who do you need to meet? Who would you like to help? What is it that you actually need out of that meeting, right?
Yeah.
And you don't need to go and meet 78 people in the thing. You need one person or 3 people or something like that. So maybe your intention is to meet 3 people that can direct you or guide you to the clients that need you, right?
Exactly.
And you will find that your guides will really work some magic and they'll come up to you and say, I don't know why, but I just wanted to talk to you.
Yeah. And you're in your head going, well, I know why, but okay, let's figure it out.
It's because I magically drew you to me.
Yes. I'm a magnet. Thank you. No, but it is fun. And sometimes it's not that meeting, but a couple, right? And then all of a sudden you start to notice, that person's intriguing to me, or I really like what she talked about, or right. And so those intuitive signs.
Also a really, really big point too is when you go to a networking event, don't expect to make a sale that day. Like there's nothing worse than cramming your business card down somebody's throat and being a weirdo about it, right? You're there to develop relationships. Think about it, business world dating, right? You're dating. Would you like, it's like, this is really funny and really bad. It's like going up to somebody and saying, hey, do you want to come and sleep with me? Like right away, right? No, you can't just like pop that question, right? Like in the first minute of meeting them, right? Like you want to find out a little bit more. Hey, like what's your star sign or something?
Both
instead, right?
scenarios
like,
that'll repel me. In business and personal, that repels me. If someone says that.
Yeah, either way around it is like, no, thanks, right? So just be treated like you'd like to be treated.
Yes, just, and show, like, I've had experiences where they don't act like anything. Just be who you are. Because, look, in this day and age, the reality is there are a lot of people doing maybe not exactly what you do, but if it's a product, you can go online, you can go down the block. There's a lot of people doing a lot of similar things, right? It's you. People want to work with you. It's not just about your products or just about your program.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe I said
I have
that.
so
But
many other
anyways, here we go.
comments I want to say.
I'm still giggling about that. But
that's okay.
Oh, goodness me.
It's true. You didn't say anything untrue. It was true.
I know.
Anyone would be like,
you know,
what? You
how
know,
about
you
like,
buy it.
yeah, and how about like just being a real person and saying like, what do you do for fun instead of what's your business? Because it's always like business pitch after business pitch. Like maybe somebody goes hiking and runs for fun, and that's what you do too. And then you have an instant connection, right?
Yes.
And every person has a network with them. And once you get to know each other a little bit further, like in my design business, I found that I would meet people, give them my card, and they would end up calling me 6 months, 8 months, a year down the road. It wasn't an immediate thing, right?
Right. Or someone will say, well, I went to a meeting, but nothing happened.
Well,
exactly.
you've got to go and get to know people as well, because when you show up regularly, then they're going to say, oh, this person's actually really interested in meeting new people.
Meeting makers make it. And it's the same on social media. Well, I posted something and nobody responded. So you posted something once? Let me tell you, nobody even noticed. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that.
Everything's infiltrated like thousands of times, right?
Bombarded by things. So when they start to see you consistently, also they see you consistently in your message, consistently in your energy. That's what makes people notice you. It's not just branding. It's not just, if your thing's changing, hey, and I've been there. So I don't say this like Miss Judgy Pants. Okay.
No judgment here.
It's evolved. Okay.
Yes.
So in those
and it's
stages,
still going to evolve.
fine. I hope always. That's what I say. I hope always, because that means it's growing into something more and more and more
even better.
Right.
Yeah.
So consistency.
Consistency. I always say consistency breeds confidence and momentum.
See, and I see consistency is a hallmark of champions. So we're on the same. This is why we love each other.
Yes, this is why we're chatting today. It does though. And it's like, because, and you know what? And it doesn't matter if you're posting and nobody's liking it. I'm going to say this right now. If you're posting and you're not attracting the attention that you desire at this moment, don't give up. Keep going. It's going to be okay. Someone will listen eventually.
Well, and you assume that nobody responded, so nobody liked it. But then you keep at it and you keep at it, and all of a sudden you get a like. All of a sudden you get 3 likes.
Somebody will come out of the woodwork and they're going to say something. I've been
watching you for some time now, right?
That's exactly the line.
I've been watching you, and I really like your message. Oh,
thanks.
You don't know. They're not. You can't see them watching you. You don't know,
but they're there,
and they need you. You have to keep showing up. They need you. You have to really believe that, right? So
let's wrap this up But Nicole, how can everybody find you? So where's your website? And I know the fabulous Facebook group, Sensitive Rising.
Yes, our online community is thriving and growing. That is Sensitives Rising on Facebook. My website is NicoleEisler.com. So I'm easy to find like that.
Yeah.
And
there'll be links everywhere. Yeah. So yeah,
you can find me there.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks. This was just like a powerful interview, and we went through so many good tips, and I had a lot of fun, and we laughed. And this is the way business is supposed to be, right?
Yeah. This is business. I forgot.
yeah, this is business. Like just doing this stuff, isn't it fantastic? Anyways.
Yes. And if you don't if you're at a point in your path and you're not sure how long it's going to be or when do I get there, just keep going.
Yes.
You're following your heart, if you're putting your heart in your business, if you're around people you love and enjoy, and just trust that you're doing the right things. You really are. You are. Others will support you. Trust me.
Yeah. We're your biggest cheerleaders. We're here for you. Yeah.
I am always, anytime. You don't have to work with me for me to cheer for you. You understand? You send me, here's what I'm working on. I'm so excited. I will cheer for you because
me too.
Yep,
yes.
we are in it for you.
Okay. Well,
awesome.
That's it for today. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. And we'll see you on the next video. Okay, bye.
Bye.
That's so much fun.
So much fun.